Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back. We had a very busy winter holiday season here at my house, so it's been some time since we've done a video. But now that we are approaching spring and we're approaching some of our springtime holidays, not only are our chickens starting to produce eggs again, but we've got some recipes coming your way that are going to help you with ease and convenience for everyday family life, as well as any holiday events that you might be hosting. So today I thought I'd walk you through how to make a French toast casserole bake. It's something that can be used for breakfast for dinner. It can be used for breakfast on the weekends. It can be made ahead. It can be made day of. It's a really simple recipe that will be sure to please a crowd. It makes a bunch. It goes into a 13 by 9 casserole dish so that you can use it for a large crowd if you're going to be hosting a holiday gathering such as Easter brunch. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy and let's get started. To get started with today's recipe, you're going to want to butter or nonstick spray your 13 by 9 casserole dish. I'm using nonstick spray for ease and convenience. And then you'll take your loaf of bread that you've selected. Today I'm using a French bread. And you'll tear it into about 1-inch size pieces. My bread is pre-sliced, but it doesn't matter. If you don't have pre-sliced bread, that's okay too. Just make about 1-inch, 1.5-inch size pieces and fill your casserole dish with your larger torn bread pieces. Once you finish tearing your entire loaf into pieces and placing that into a casserole dish, you'll set that aside for just a moment. Next, with your bread set aside, go ahead and crack your 8 eggs into a large mixing bowl. I prefer to use a large measuring cup because it has a pour spout, which will make the next step easier, but if you don't have one, that's okay. Once your eggs are cracked, go ahead and whisk them together. And to this, we're going to add 2 cups of whole milk. You could use a lighter version. It's not going to make that big of a difference. We'll add a 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream. Go ahead and give that a quick stir to incorporate it in. We will add 2 tablespoons of vanilla, and I know it sounds like a lot, but trust me, it will be worth it. And this is just imitation vanilla. You can use imitation vanilla, vanilla extract, it's all the same for this recipe. Give that a stir. Last but not least, we're going to add 1/2 cup of granulated sugar and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. You can use light brown or dark brown, all dependent on what you have in your cabinet. We're just going to stir that together until it's all incorporated. Once we got that ready, we're going to set that aside as well. With your bread and egg mixture set aside, the final preparation step is to make the topping. So in a small or medium-sized bowl, you'll take a 1/2 cup of flour, plus a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Again, light or dark, it's okay, just make sure that it's been packed. You'll add to that 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Now, I really like cinnamon in my recipes, so I'm gonna make this teaspoon a heaping teaspoon. You can add a 1/4 cup of nutmeg. The nutmeg is optional, but I do find that it really does help to add a flavor punch to the recipe. And again, I like nutmeg, so I'll make sure that that's a little heaping as well. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. and then give that a stir around so that it's all incorporated as far as your dry ingredients. To your dry ingredients, go ahead and add your half a cup of butter. And you'll want to make sure that it's cubed in about 1/4 inch size pieces. And room temperature to slightly softer than room temperature. And then you'll take your pastry blender, or you can use a fork if you don't have a pastry blender. And you'll start to mash your butter into the dry mixture to incorporate it. Now this does take some manual effort here. Will take some some strength to really get it all broken apart. You'll have to clean off your blender or your fork several times, but the goal here is that you're trying to break the butter up and coat it with the flour, sugar, seasoning mixture so that it looks like, when you're done with it, almost like pieces of wet sand. And this is about what it'll look like once you've got the pieces mixed in. It's okay if some are bigger than others, but it's going to look like wet sand when it's all incorporated. Okay, so I have my 3 pre-prepared components here. I've got my torn bread pieces, my egg mixture, and my topping mixture. First up, we're going to take our egg mixture and we're going to pour it evenly in an even layer over our bread mixture. Again, this is why I like to use a large measuring cup, because it just makes it easier to coat those bread pieces. All that yummy brown sugar caramelization in there. Okay, now if we were making this ahead, doing this the night before or the day before, you'd cover this with either a Tupperware lid cover, some saran wrap, some foil. You can put it in the fridge and keep it in there until you are ready to bake it. When you are ready to bake the casserole, that's when you add your topping mixture to it. So if you were going to save this for later, you could put it in a Ziploc bag and also put it into the refrigerator. Because I'm doing everything all at once and I'm planning to bake this right now for you guys, we're going to go ahead and take our topping mixture and we're just going to add it in an even coating over the top. And that's it. Into the oven, this is gonna go. We're gonna bake it at 350 degrees for 1 hour. If you like your French toast casserole and your French toast to be more of the texture and consistency of bread pudding, you can go ahead and take it out after an hour and you'll have that nice custardy kind of filling inside. Check it though, if you like it to be a little bit more firm and not as mushy or bread pudding like texture, you may want to give it an extra 10 to 15 minutes, all depending on your preference. So into the oven this goes. Okay, I have pulled this out of the oven. I've let it set for about 5 minutes just because it's piping hot. And we can now go ahead and cut into this and show you all what it looks like. All right. Look at that. Still hot. The steam's still coming off of it. But this is going to be very delicious. All right. Now it's my turn to taste. Really good. This is one you're going to want to keep around and have at the ready when you're having company or you need something that's a quick go-to. High in protein, got that sweet flavor, the cinnamon spices, Very good. So hope you enjoy learning how to make this recipe. Hope you choose to make it. If you liked this recipe, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.